for the Dutch Snedeker podcast. And baby, you know, we got a podcast for you, baby. We've got a podcast for you, baby. So let's dive into the podcast we all know. Oh, yeah. Podcast. I don't know. You got to change up these intros, someone said. Honestly, I don't know who said it. It might have been me. It might have been me self-critiquing, because isn't that what we all do? We all have that inner voice that's like, oh, that's a stupid idea. Don't do that. And you know what creatives are? Creative people are the ones who go like, you might have a point, but I'm going to do it anyway. That's how a lot of art gets made. It's just like, this seems dumb, but I'm going to do it. And then someone else is like, they changed the course of music forever. And you're like, I literally thought that was just me pretending. I didn't know this was going to change the course of history. Was my comment going to change the course of history? No. One thing that you might notice, the lovely SM7B has made its return from literally being available for all the other podcasts. I was listening to the last couple that I had edited, and I was just sick of how that mic sounded. I wanted to go back to this because this is, it's a little more character, a little more oomph. I don't have to like pretend to add in, to, like tweak some EQ or anything. It's a little bit more of a good starting point. So, what did I do this week? This sound is so interesting. It's a Yamaha CP70 sound, which some of you might have grown up in that time frame. But for those of you who need a more modern reference, Woody Goss plays one a lot with Wolfpack. So I love chromatic movement for whatever reason. You can hold one note, move down a whole step, half step, half step, half step. This is just bass movement, by the way. Half step, another half step. Now we're back home. So you might be wondering by the title, I'm done with hotels. I'm done with them. They're gone. Don't ask me to do that again. Don't ask me to be in a hotel. And here's why. First of all, I will clarify. If the hotel is provided, let's say it's baked into a gig, I have a free hotel room. I'll take anything within reason that's free. The caveat has to be there. With anything within reason that's free. Free food, depends on who's making it. Depends on how long it's been sitting out. Depends on if it's old or good or, whatever. Free lodging. Is it haunted? I've never really come up to a place where I'm like, this place is haunted. I don't think I've ever stayed. I've stayed in some older houses, but it's never felt like, well, this place is haunted. It's usually like, man, they haven't updated the building since it was built in the 1960s. So, again, I'll go in a hotel if it's provided. I'll go in a really nice hotel if it's provided. Or I get some sort of, invitation, some sort of discount, some sort of, like an experience. Like, oh, I stayed in a really nice hotel with lots of amenities, like, a once in a lifetime thing, staying at a nice hotel. Sure. But in general, hotels, if I'm choosing and I'm I have my money and I have my wallet out and I'm like, hey, I need to pay for lodging and I don't have any friends in the city. I don't have anywhere to stay that's free. I am going to look high and low for Airbnbs because of what happened this past weekend. Now, I will clarify. I had a wonderful time overall. It was one moment. We're going to build up to one moment. There's one moment where I was done. I just couldn't handle hotels anymore. Can't do it anymore. Can't do the hotel life. Can't do the hotel life. I don't think I'm in the key. And maybe if I hold on this one now. Cause I've never been in the hotel. I'm like sharp. In the hotel. In the hotel. Okay. In the hotel. Where was I this weekend? So, first of all, I had another Friday at the listening room. Who would have guessed in a year the venue that I, hadn't played since fall of 2019, and I really enjoyed my time there. Great venue, great atmosphere, great location, great way to take care of bands, comped parking, food. It's great. I love it. That's a lot of winning combinations of a gig. I played Valentine's weekend. It was fun. People came out. Super cool. Came back on Friday. People had reservations. I saw, my parents were there. My friends, Wayne Titus and his siblings, and Justin Avdek came with Rachel. Like, this whole, people were there. And it's like, in my head, I'm starting to see, like, okay, now if this happens a third time, if he says if the booking agent says he wants to do more of these, I got to start thinking of how I want to shape this into something that people want to attend, that people want to enjoy, because everyone knows, like people are hungry for live music, but eventually there's going to be a point where it becomes a novelty again. Everyone's like, I'll never take for granted ever again that there used to be music every week and I was a fool. I never went. And it's like, yeah, you were. No, I'm kidding. Everyone was busy. Everyone had other priorities. It happens. I know that it happens. Take it from someone who's been a part of the start of things and then I disappear. I'm suddenly not on the schedule, or the thing gets canceled, or I'm not, it's not because I did something and it's like, oh, we'll never have him back. He showed up and then he just set the place on fire. Like, why did he do that? We asked him to provide entertainment and he responded in kind by accepting the paycheck, setting the venue on fire, and then cashing the check. I mean, maybe that was his art piece. Maybe it was a little entertaining, but so, I know that people are going to love the music right now. I have that cynical part of my head that a lot of musicians have. I mentioned earlier, there's the part of musicians that are like, that's stupid. That's, it's a part of the voice of the creative muse. It's a part of the cynical voice. But I just know, it's really like, I want to really savor the times that I can play in this room on a regular basis. Bringing in a trio, working out songs, playing solo, which is what I did on Friday. I played more solo music, different, jazz tunes that I picked, really letting myself, stretch and... Not that. This weird, the action sound on this is weird. It's like somewhere in between an electric and an acoustic. You just smack it a little bit. So I did Friday. That was fun. I marathoned. Actually, I think the night before I had marathoned through Spider-Man Miles Morales. Really fun game. Great way to break in my PS5, which I luckily didn't have to return. I that's a whole other journey in itself. Like getting the wrong version, having to wait, sending it back, not opening it for 2 months because I didn't know if I was literally going to have to like return it for money because the unemployment was up in the air. Some work was like, okay, I'm still waiting on some payment, and there is the prospect of future payment, but I need to know what the unemployment situation is. So at the very least, I can like get back on that if I need to, but I can also, sell some other things. I had sold a bunch of gear that I didn't really use, but anyway, whole other story. First time marathoning a game in a while, so that's why I brought it up. Back to Friday, played music, great time. Fun was had. Then Saturday was my quote-unquote relaxation day. Now, I've had days where I don't do anything, and they suck. Hot take. I like an excuse to, take a break, be lazy, but it's not in my character anymore. It's hard for me to just sit. Like, I'll play some games and it's fine, but then the next day I feel like, why did I spend 4 hours playing that game? I could have, spent 2 hours and then, done the 2 hours of work. And then, it's that feeling where you plan to rest and do nothing, and then you don't do anything, and you feel like you didn't accomplish that. It's like, oh, I planned to rest today, and I just didn't do it. So it's like, not only did you do nothing, but you also didn't accomplish doing nothing. You have that residual, worker, hustle grind guilt. But this was different because this Saturday, I had scheduled a sensory deprivation float session, which I had done in the fall. Very cool. I highly recommend it if you're someone who likes literally just kind of sinking into a super relaxing stasis for an hour. Your thoughts are going to race, you're going to go in and out of a meditative state. But just to have a nothing chamber that also you come out feeling like you had a few nights good sleep in an hour. That's how it felt. All my muscles were relaxed. I felt like my posture was a little different. It was great. So I had planned that, and then early in the day I went on a walk with Hannah from Earth Radio, Hannah Lane, and that was fun. We got lunch at Gaia Cafe and takeout, which I had never had Gaia Cafe, so I wanted to try it. I knew it existed in its heyday when I was in high school, and then it went out of business, and I never got to try it. And I tried the berry lemonade, which was so good, so much flavor, and the mean green burrito, the staple, the thing that everyone I even whispered Gaia Cafe to was like, oh, you gotta try that first. That's the thing, and it was really good. And then we check into the hotel. Now, I'm not upset that there weren't any amenities that I could indulge in. It wasn't just because of COVID. It was because a whole wing of the hotel where all the amenities was under construction. So no pool, no hot tub, no sauna, nothing. All I could do is go to the room, maybe go to a restaurant if I wanted to, which I ended up doing, or mosey around the different lobbies, I guess. I wanted to see if I could find a piano, because I know that, I've played events there where they have a piano in one of the ballrooms. But no luck. Also, random side tangent. I played an event there once where I was a recipient. It was an awards ceremony for students who got scholarships. I had gotten the Edith Blodgett piano scholarship at Grand Valley 2 or 3 times or something. Just a little extra money on top of what I was making what I was having access to with scholarships and stipends and all that. And I played this event. I'm playing to get paid. But I also should have had a seat. Didn't have a seat reserved, which was super dumb. And then my grandpa is a regular contributor, and I couldn't even sit with him. I was like, isn't this what like spoiled rich like dudes always do? It's like, well, my father, he's the one who built this science building, and you will show your respect and kind. And it's like, I didn't sound like that, but I was hoping I could, because my friends were playing on the stage, and they were like, "Oh, there's no way." I'm like, just bring one extra chair. I'm a scholarship recipient. But that was years ago. Every time I see that ballroom, I'm like, man, remember that time? And it's just me, so I can't tell anyone but you guys. And so I'm in the hotel. I check in. It's, a quaint little room. It's got a king size bed, so it's all kind of like bed, the rest of it, and then like a little, a TV. I think the TV could have been a little bit bigger. The distance from the TV to the bed, maybe I just need my prescription updated. But I was just like, it seems very far away, and maybe I'm already in my 50s. Like it's just it's too far. I can't see. Is there a way to turn up the brightness? Oh, it's already so bright that, I'm ruining my eyesight. But it had Chromecast, so all is forgiven. I could watch YouTube and Hulu, caught up with Law and Order, all that stuff. Did the float session, very relaxing time. Fell asleep, very very relaxed. It felt like mission accomplished. I did enough of an activity to feel like I was doing something, like some sort of planned, like, yeah, this is relaxing and cool and fun. And then let me see if I could find the right reaction on the keyboard. And then I was awoken at 6 a.m. That was close. By a couple of middle-aged couples. And what were they doing? They were talking about their 20-year-old kids dating. And it was 6 a.m. on a Sunday. It's major because it's a major deal on Sunday, the Lord's Day. Sale is still major. But they're 6 a.m. talking about their kids. Talking about their kids. Whenever I get an impression of people, at first glance, my brain goes into, like, if they've already wronged me and I don't know them, and they don't know they've wronged me, but waking me up at 6 a.m. and I'm just hearing like, oh yeah, Billy, he's a good, he thinks he likes Sarah, but it's just starting out. Oh, I remember when you and Todd were dating. Oh, you just couldn't keep your hands off each other. I'm like, I can't take another second of this. I paid for luxury. I paid for this chord. I paid for like a relaxing time, just a respectable time, a wonderful time. And no, I get like, oh, you would never believe, they met in college and now they're dating. Could they possibly go the extra mile? What's gonna happen to them after they graduate? I don't know. Maybe it seems like Billy wants to go into engineering and Sarah's more, she She wants to go into medical profession, and those are two pretty demanding careers. Can they, make time for each other? She's got a few more years of school, and I don't know if Billy wants to pursue his master's because he's only looking at certain technical professions that only require a bachelor's because he wants to get right into the workforce after he's been doing this. And I know it's Sunday morning at 6 in the morning, and people are trying to sleep in a hotel, and we literally checked in, and the receptionist was like, none of the amenities are open, and a whole wing of the hotel is closed, so everybody's in the same wing. So they're all going to be within earshot of each other because there's a pretty decently full parking lot, and now we have to maybe pay attention that other people have needs, like they need to sleep in because it's Sunday, and why would anyone talk at full volume as if it was like the church potluck? And why would you have that energy at 6 in the morning? Like, what, you go to Starbucks, walk the block, have a nice little chat, and did you I don't know, maybe you had just so many problems that I couldn't fall back asleep because I was so frustrated. So imagine going from a super relaxing day to the most annoying way to wake up, like hearing someone else's conversations that are just you don't care about. It's like, what am I gonna I don't want to confront them. I don't want to be that guy who's like, hey, shut up, because what I did instead, because the Amway lets you, and I think other hotels do this too, this is the only thing I liked about I didn't have to do the whole rigmarole of just walking downstairs. Oh, hi, sir. Are you checking out? Yes. Did you have a good stay? Well, the people next door were kind of really loud, and that's why I'm up now and checking out. Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. Well, could you, could you give us a positive rating? It's I guess, it wasn't your fault that these guests are terrible. But I went home, slept. I got home around 7:30 in the morning, slept until 1, woke up, did a stream at 2, and then, tried to relax also. But then my sleep schedule is all thrown out of whack. So, I ended up, gaming until midnight, and then I was still up until 2, just laying there and and watching YouTube. But that's not the point. Well, if you turn off and you go into a meditation before bed, just 15 minutes of affirming, words of calm, and maybe you've taken a melatonin and drinking enough water, and you just have this time where you disconnect for just a second, and you put away your phone, because the blue light, that's why people make blue light blocker glasses, because the blue light is a strain on the human body, because it tricks the brain into thinking that there's sunlight. Yes, I know, but there's cool videos on YouTube, so what do you want me to do? That's my white noise too. It's I find something that I can fall asleep to. Usually it's a podcast or something, or I put on something that puts me in a good mood and I drift off to sleep. Not every night, but so I'm done with hotels. We've established this. Why do I love Airbnbs in contrast? We're going to get into that right now for 5 seconds, because it takes no time. For me, there's more freedom. It's a house. It's not a room. It's a house. There's total the check-in process is maybe a text and then a pamphlet that's just hey, don't destroy my house. There's 2 things I need you to do before you leave, and that's it. And also no noise after 10. It's that's so easy, and some people can't do that. It's a whole house. I've stayed in Airbnbs with hot tubs, with cool cool bedding, cool location near lakes. I stayed in a tiny house Airbnb where someone had taken they bought an old schoolhouse. First of all, a very quaint schoolhouse. They converted it into a living space that was also their business. So it was a living space, and they ran a bakery. Then they took the sunroom from the back of the the house, and they put another wall on it. They outfitted it with certain amenities, like like very simple, like, store, like tanks for water and septic, and like, very simple, like it was just a little tiny room, but you felt like, you're in this own little, it felt like being in a terrarium a little bit, because it being a sunroom before all of it was windows. So I've definitely felt like I can't really, like, I don't want to do anything in here because I feel like someone's watching me all the time. But they had blinds that went around the whole length of the, or like they had in sections. So what I like that Airbnbs are a little bit more personalized, a little bit more customized. They're not looking for general options for comfort. They're looking for people who want certain experiences. In certain cases, sometimes it's someone renting out an air mattress in their basement, but I don't know if that's legal or if that's what Airbnbs can do. But what if I just did this for the rest of the episode? Like, I just try and do that, and it's hard to talk and do this. It's a good exercise, though. You should try it. Like, play a lick and then see how long you can keep it going while talking. I had my arm not correct. Not correct technique. Seeing a lot of, like clawing, like, bloop. Like putting tension. So yeah, I feel like, especially with Blue Water Kings, I've been spoiled with some great Airbnbs. Some people, they're like, the cheaper option is just to, get a couple rooms, throw them in a room. But not really, though. Depending on the city and the area, you can rent a whole house for a comparative price. It's great. Do that. If you want to make musicians happy, see what they prefer for lodging, or pick a cool Airbnb, because there's nothing like an Airbnb is an excuse for bands to hang. When there's a hotel room, it's harder to get a band to hang. And some of you might be thinking, like, well, rock and roll stars, they didn't have to worry about that. They just partied, and they threw TVs off balconies, and they were cool. It's like, sure. Why not? They can do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to watch the TV. I want to, usually what ends up happening if I'm in control of an evening with people, and not I planned a get together, but I'm just kind of hanging out. I like conversation. I like to also just kind of show, like, I've been listening to this. I look at this video. This thing came out. This is so cool. I like this thing. But then, I'm also a fan of, like, when you just do nothing. I'm at the point too where I'm sick, and I can't. It seems like I can't digest alcohol anymore. It's like the last time I had alcohol, it was half of a beer, and I woke up the next day feeling like I had like 5. It was like a lingering, like sort of a hangover. And I was like, what the heck? I had plenty of water. Like, look, hold on. Look at this thing. Look at it. Look at how much water could fit in this thing. There's so much. Like, look what I have to do to take a drink of water. This is great. Looking is always a good, ask of an audio listener, by the way. But you can watch it on YouTube too. Oh, so much water. But so worth it. So I would like to think I drink enough water. 'Cause I'm an adult, right? I'm an adult, and I know how to drink water. But Airbnbs, way cooler, way more interesting to pull up to. You see in a Hilton, a Holiday Inn, a Best Western, like you just see all this. It's like the same buildings with like slightly different decor, and you're like, sure, what room do I check into? That's a key card with like very thin carpeting and like a climate controlled room with a television and big comfy bedspreads that smell of the industrial cleaner that was used on it. It's like, please tell me, what amenities do I have in the room? Oh, I get a miniature fridge that is something I would buy off of Craigslist used and doesn't keep anything cold. And then please show me to the bathroom where it's the smallest part of the area, and it's not built for any sort of comfort. It's just like you get in and you try to use the shower curtain, and you spend that extra time like, okay, why is it like set up this way? It's like a weird angle. Okay, I think I did it right. And then you get out and there's a lake by the tub, and you're like, I didn't put this much water. I had the thing aimed at the wall. Was there that much did it hit the wall with such force that it flew out past the curtain? And then you get to like some rooms don't have a balcony. Not that I'm looking for a balcony really, but like the outside is just like, oh, there's the parking lot. It's like, wow, I love this view of the road I just came in from. And it's usually it's like, okay, I see the city sort of, or like the city's not that interesting. But with an Airbnb, you're like, oh, this neighborhood's kind of cool. Where are we going? Oh, wow, it's a little, it's at a little bit of a dead end drive. Like it's in the woods. That's pretty cool. Oh, it's by a lake. Yeah, we could go swimming. Like it all changes. They're not going to close a lake unless, there's a very environmental reason why they closed a lake. Don't go in the lake. It's full of chemicals. But like your plans might change going to an Airbnb in a great way, but with a hotel, your plans might change in an inconvenient way. The gym folks that go to the gym, they're like, the fitness center, yeah, I could get in. It's like, the fitness center doesn't open until 9, and you're like, I need to get in earlier. I have a meeting at 9. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Or like, oh, the pool's closed because we're cleaning it. It's like, well, how long does it take to clean? Well, it shouldn't take that long, but you'll probably not be able to use it during your stay. Then it takes a long time. What do you mean? It doesn't take that long. It's at least a full day. Like if I said like, it's like, yeah, we're gonna have breakfast. It'll be ready in about a full day. You would go find another breakfast. So it's and Airbnbs that you get a little window into like maybe someone designed the Airbnb and it looks cool. Maybe it's got a certain interior style to it. Maybe it's got a lot of room for like, oh, this is a perfect place to unwind. There's couches. There's like there's games. And then you go in a hotel, it's like, okay, we could watch cable. Like honestly, before the Super Bowl, when I watched the Super Bowl this year with my folks, I don't have cable. And I don't like watching cable anymore because cable is just like, it's like, like the Food Network does this all the time. I noticed this when I was, okay, so I did watch cable a little bit in the hotel at the Amway before I found out there was a Chromecast. like, you got diners, drive-ins, and dives, and it's like, we're at the roadside diner getting a new lease on a pork belly sandwich covered in chocolate mayonnaise. Wow, that's money. Look at that, that's so much money. Oh wow, you did it. Oh, we'll be right back with more dimers, divers, and drives. And then it's like, you and your loved ones are filled with fear because you don't know who's going to come by your house and rob it. But not with Simply Safe. Simply Safe is so easy to set up, it takes just 30 minutes. And it's not just one thing, it's an entire security package. So you can feel safe. Why is Guy Fieri still narrating? I'm Guy Fieri, and this is Simply Safe. Like, we're gonna talk about, pork tachos later, but you gotta keep your family safe. You gotta protect the secret recipes in your outdoor backyard barbecue caballera. I feel like he says Spanish words sometimes just because he's naming tequila brands that I don't know. And you're like, okay, I don't want to buy that. And then it's like, do you or a loved one know about Zaltynix? Zaltynix should be taken only if you're feeling just a little bit off. But if you take it, you might develop a severe pancreatic inflammation that will cost thousands of dollars in the hospital. But this medication is designed to help you get rid of that feeling of, I don't know. And then you go back and it's like, and we're back with more diners, drive-ins, and dives. Oh, we're here with that guy we were talking about, and it's literally stock like rock and roll music. And it's like, he eats a sandwich, like, oh, it's money. That's so much money. You spent so much money on this sandwich. Oh, it's money. Oh, this is like the freight elevator of Flavor Town. Oh, these kimchi fried rice wings are the spackle for the walls of Flavor Town. Is that a good thing? Yeah, it's money. Yeah, it costs money, but money isn't a flavor. Dude, bro, this is like totally bomb. Like, okay, it's closer to good, I guess. It's like, did you make all this in house? Yeah, we brine our own pickles and we marinate our own meat. Why don't you spell out the secret recipe for old Guy Fieri? I've always wondered if he has taken a recipe and tweaked it and put it in his kitchen. It's like, oh, those are pork tachos from Dan's pork emporium in Newcastle, Delaware. And you're like, where? It's like, exactly. That's the roadside barbecue pit stop in Flavor Town. And then he comes out, at Guy's Gumbo Shrimp Explosion and gives you it's like, I got porknadoes. It's like a pork tacho wrapped in a lamb's cabeza and marinated in Gruyere cheese. Like, is that good? It's money. What are you talking about? I don't want to spend any money on this. Oh, Guy Fieri. What a guy, right? I don't really know where to go from there, so we're gonna end here. But now you know why I don't like hotels. Anymore, at least. Unless they're free. You can give me a free hotel. Yeah, give me a whole free hotel. Just sign over a hotel. The rights to, like, I just want the income from it. You can continue to run it and claim ownership and put your name on it. Just give me all the money. It sounds like a great deal. At least for me, but thanks for listening. If you want to support me, you can share this video around with friends, share the podcast, subscribe to different platforms, check out my Patreon. I don't know, send your gold bullion to my address. Trade your car in to buy me a new keyboard, a few new keyboards, depending on your car. Those are ways to support me. You could also come check me out at the listening room for the foreseeable future. When this podcast comes out, I will be playing March 5th and 6th at the listening room. You can catch the live stream if you're not in the area on facebook.com/Snedeker. Just keep an eye out for updates around that. And have yourself a great week, because you deserve it. Go float in a sensory deprivation tank full of pork tachos. See you next time.